On the line with us is our old buddy, Dr. Justin Frank. He's an MD. He's a psychoanalyst and clinical professor at the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Science at George Washington University. He's the author of Trump on the Couch, Bush on the Couch, Obama on the Couch. His Twitter handle is Justin Frank MD, as you might recall. And Dr. Frank, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. It's great to be back here. I'm worried there might be an echo with this way I've set up the phone. Does it sound okay for you?
No, it sounds just fine. What's happening is I'm doing this show remotely. I'm in San Francisco, and there's about a 1 second time delay. It's called latency, and we're just going to have to work around it. So, you know, it's not a problem. Now,
so we're okay. I just don't want to...
Yeah, we're good. We've been having a conversation here about how it seems that Donald Trump actually is enjoying the cruelty that he's inflicting on these children at the border, and that, you know, he's threatening now to annihilate Iran because they called him a moron or a mentally retarded person. You have some new thoughts on Donald Trump and what's motivating him and driving him. You want to share that with us?
Sure. Many of my findings were in the book Trump on the Couch. But the one of them that was not really emphasized until now is, I guess I ended one chapter by saying that Trump always lies, either to improve his position or to make a sale or all of that. But I wrote at the end of that chapter on lying that he is now in the position of lying to save his life, certainly to save his job. And that was written a year ago or more. And I think that right now, the form that lying is taking, it's not really exactly lying, is that he has a deep, unconscious, ongoing fantasy or thought about himself, that he is invincible, that he is God, that when he says, make America great again, it means that he is going to make America great again. It means that it's all up to him. He's the kind of person who, as a father, would scare a child before they go to bed, then come in when the child has a nightmare and turn on the lights and say, I'm going to save you and make everything better. This is a form of a God complex that was first described many, many years ago by a psychoanalyst, a colleague of Freud's named Ernest Jones. And he called it the God complex in 1913. And some of the characteristics are that, A, it's unconscious, B, that people who have it are extremely vague about what they're going to do, but they always promise things in the future, and C, that they feel that they can control everything, that they have direct access to the best information, the best courses of action. And that gets increased over time when a person feels threatened, when a person feels uncomfortable. So they move into more of an active God complex behavior. So what Trump did with Iran, bringing us to the brink, as he said, and then calling back the planes, as he said, and now today saying that he could obliterate them, that he alone can do that. It's not. It is really very, very dangerous to have a person who thinks like that as president of the United States. It's bad enough to have them as a CEO, or bad enough to have them as a parent. But he is really up against it, and there's a feeling that I have that clinically he is deeply disturbed because these unconscious fantasies, I think, are dominating his conscious life.
Wow. Yeah, we are getting a little bit of an echo.
Okay, well, here, I'll do it like this. I'll have to hold the phone like this.
Yeah, that's...
Are you still getting an echo, or is that better?
Yeah, no, if you just talk on a phone like a normal phone,
okay.
that usually
He shrugs off what happened to Khashoggi, for instance, or he shrugs off even the internment camps that are going on in the south of the border, as if they're not his concern. He's above it. It is a very disturbing thing because what happens when you have a person like this as president, nothing can reach him except some threat of exposure. but otherwise nothing can reach him. Facts do not matter. Whatever you say is easily dismissed. It's as if I'm holding this phone, but it would be as if you were going to start to talk to me, Tom, I would have a filter in my ear that would say, blah, 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 Dr. Frank, blah, 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 Dr. Frank. That's all I would hear. That's all he hears. Blah, 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 Donald Trump, blah, 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 blah. That's how his mind works right now. It is very disturbing.
So you are a clinical professor at the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Science at George Washington University at the medical school there. And you are saying out loud on this program that Donald Trump is mentally ill and that mental illness is actually a threat to our republic, to the world?
That is exactly what I'm saying. He is a threat to our republic, and somebody needs to help quarantine him or muzzle him or help him calm down. He is the president, and it's very hard to do any of these things. But basically, he's the kind of person who, I taught a seminar for 10 years at GW called The Psychopathology of the Psychoses. It was about the psychodynamics that underlie psychotic thinking and psychotic behavior. And Trump fits very well into that course that I taught years ago. He would be the poster boy for that course. He's he's a disturbed person, and just because a person looks semi-normal and can wear a long red tie and tie his shoes and dress up and even talk in a meeting, if you listen carefully to what he says and to his tweets, you'll see all kinds of cracks in what he says and in what he tweets. You'll see a lot of particular defense mechanisms in action. One of them is called projection, where he accuses somebody else of doing something he does. It's an unconscious process. But the second thing you'll see is what's called delusional projection, which you only see in psychosis, which is what he's saying when he talks about it being a witch hunt. The witch hunt talk is actually something he sort of liked at first, but it's moved into a kind of delusional projection because he was the one who was doing a witch hunt on Obama with birthers. He was the one who was doing all of these things in the past with his father as a child. So it's a delusional projection. He really believes it. He believes it's a witch hunt. He's not just saying that. And I think that kind of belief system is extremely dangerous. I don't know what to say about it more. I would, if you were my
especially
patient,
with regard to Iran.
Yes, with regards to Iran.
This could be World War III.
Completely.
Because we have a psychotic president.
Well, it's like having a person, when I had people on the inpatient service, when I was running the ward at GW, some patients would say, "Doctor, you're putting us in jail. You're not giving us a pass to go out of the hospital and walk around." And I would have to say to them, wait a minute. You put yourself in this hospital by your behavior of assaulting a policeman or whatever they did, and you put yourself here. And so to say I'm not allowing you out makes me responsible when you're the one who's responsible. Trump is the one who stopped the treaty with Iran. He's the one who's responsible for this escalation.